What's going on, everyone? So, on today's video, we're going to be talking about the top three accounts that you'll need at the age of 18. So, if you're a parent, you have a teenager in your household, these are the top three accounts that you need to secure for them in order for them to become, I would say, a millionaire on retirement. And I'm going to show you guys some projections of numbers of what they can receive when they retire at the age of, I don't know, 48, I'm going to say, right? Because as you know, you don't really need age to retire. You kind of need money. All right, ladies. So without further ado, I'm going to show you guys, and we're going to go through a slideshow of the top three accounts that you need to have set up for your kids in order for them to be very wealthy and continue to pass that along their kids too. It's crazy that nobody talks about this when we were younger. In school, I read a post the other day um, on Facebook, and he said, and mind you, this is the Hispanic community, by the way, the Latino community. Someone asked, if I were to give you $150,000, what will you do with that money? I read all the comments. There were about 36 comments or something like that. And everyone on the comments, the first thing that came to mind was spending it, right? So, and there's nothing wrong with that because somebody gives you 150K, you're gonna be ecstatic, right? But it's also wrong to think this way too, because yes, you will have gratification of you buying something new, you buying something awesome for yourself, like buying a home and this and that and one. Now, with $150,000, I doubt that you will buy a house in New York. You'll probably buy like a shed or something like that, right? Um, and it was kind of crazy to me, right? So I commented on it that the first thing that I would do would be obviously, open a high yield savings account, deposit $50,000 on that account and let it grow, right? And continue to work for my 30 years or whatever it may be. Take the extra $100,000 and open a brokerage account and invest on a high yield um, index or fund or stock, whatever you want to do. For me, and again, my own personal take will be either SEHD, and I'm going to show you guys some numbers from ACHD in a little bit. VOO, um, the S&P 500, QQQ, and again, this is just my personal take, right? Because no one taught us this in school, right? And it was kind of shocking to me that the first thing that everybody thought of doing was spending that money. Again, to each suit their own, but we are a society that we live in the moment. We want gratification right away, right? So we thinking about, oh wow, this is amazing. I have 150K now, I can spend some money. But we never think about our retirement fund because either we are young and we think that we're not gonna reach a certain age. But if that's the case, ask yourself this: how many times have you seen on social media or on Facebook people that are either sick or medical bills, something along those lines, and they're asking for help. Now, again, we are supposed to be helping our neighbor and stuff like that, and I'm all out for that, right? But if you put yourself in a predicament where you don't have enough money to be able to help yourself, how can you expect other people to help you? Again, let's do the right thing. Um, One of the things that I had gotten to know really well is that you need to have like an emergency fund. What does an emergency fund looks like? Depending on whatever bills you own or whatever bills you have for your household, credit card, car note, insurance, you never, whatever it is that you're paying, right? You're supposed to have a safe fund of 3 months worth of bills or 3 months worth of money that you would need to sustain yourself, your house, food, and all of that, right? Ask yourself this: do I have a 3 months safe fund to be able to carry myself in the event of an emergency? I get into a car accident and I can't work or I can't produce or whatever. Ask yourself that question. And if the answer is no, you already fallen behind. Anyways, let's continue with the video of the top three accounts that you need to set up for your children at the age of 18 years old. So, for starters, you need to open a checking account for them and a high yield savings account. That's the first step. I added a link on the bottom of the description for the top four, what's that, top three high yield savings accounts that I made because they pay extremely high dividends, not dividends, interest rates on whatever money you have saved in there. Some accounts may require certain thresholds for you to hold them, and some of them don't have any requires at all. So that's the first thing that you will need to do, right? The second thing will be to start a small Roth IRA, um, or again, if you're already employed and you have a full time job, contribute to your 401k. Now, I am not against the 401k. If that's the only thing you can do, then do that. It's better off to have something than have nothing, right? So contribute to your Roth IRAs, open a Roth IRA. You can use any broker you want. You can use Robinhood, Fidelity, Vanguard, Charles Schwab, whatever you feel comfortable with. You name it. There's so many companies out there that will allow you to open a Roth IRA at the age of 18. Pretty much everyone. Automatically, right? Have your savings um, you know, in this account and review them every year because you want to see what your money is doing, right? So if you're talking about second slide, right? A high yield savings account has very, very high interest rates, more than your regular savings account. Great for an emergency fund, like I asked before, like I said before in my introduction of the video, you need to have um, a saving emergency fund. You have to make sure that whatever company you choose is FDIC insured. What does that mean? As you know, banks go on bankrupt. You guys seen it sometimes on the news where the federal government comes and bail out, multiple banks because they're going bankrupt. Which I don't understand how a bank goes bankrupt, by the way, but whatever. Um, Easy to use and set up online. Multiple accounts that I said on the video in the description below will show you how to set up all these accounts online, and you will have that accessibility at the time of at the palm of your hand on your cell phone or on a laptop, whatever you choose. Checking account. Why do you need a checking account? The checking account would allow you to actually pay all of your bills. Again, you need to start teaching your children how to take care and manage their budget. What does that mean to you guys? You guys need to educate yourself in order for you to be able to teach your children how to manage their budget. Because the worst thing that you can do is say, "Here, I'm gonna open a checking account with $1,000. Here's a debit card," right? And they don't know how to manage that. Believe it, they'll spend it in a heartbeat. If you already work, if you're already employed, have it direct deposit, right? If you don't have it direct deposit, it's just one of those things that you will spend, that check, right? Make sure that the checking account that you open doesn't have any monthly fees. So try to avoid as many monthly fees as you can. So if you have a checking account with XYZ company or bank and it allows you to do direct deposit and you get no monthly fees, do that. Also, you got to make sure that whenever you go to an ATM, there are some companies who will refund you whatever the up $20.25 charge whenever you do a withdrawal from a bank or ATM that does not belong to the bank that you are part of. Make sure that you read those things. And finally, this is the final step to becoming a millionaire at the age of retirement or a retirement fund, right? So your Roth IRA, you have to know that it grows tax free. Make sure you contribute a minimum. And again, this is just the bare minimum, right? $10 a day. Now you may be saying, where the hell am I going to get $10 a day? That's easy. Just, go to work, deposit $10 every single day from your paycheck. So if we're talking about $10 a day, multiply times seven, because it's 7 days in a week, that's $70, right? But you only work in 5 days, right? Or the market is only open 5 days. So if you do 5 days, you divide I'm sorry, 70 times 70 divided by five, that will give you a certain amount. And then you do that per day. At the end of the year, that $10 a day will equal to 36.50. If you deposit those 36.50 into your Roth IRA and you buy an index or stock or ETFs is a traded ETFs exchange traded funds. So they hold a bunch of companies in it, and it continues to grow. Again, continue to contribute whatever earned money to your Roth IRA. So basically what they're telling you is that the IRS requires you for you to have a job in order for you to open a Roth IRA. Now, I'm a photographer. Some of you guys know me already. I'm a photographer. So I employed my 3 year old and my 10-year-old. You may be saying, Julio, how the hell do you do that? Well, since I'm a photographer, I use them, or I hire them to be models for me so I can make advertisement postcards, advertisement for Christmas photo shoots, any photo shoot event on this and that and whatnot. I hire them and I pay them a certain amount. What amount is that? I'm not going to disclose that in here with you guys, but I pay my children to do those things for me. Now, um, mind you, my 3 year old and my 10-year-old, they already have Roth IRAs accounts, which means that by the time they become 18, they can take over and continue to contribute in order for them to retire basically a millionaire. My 4 year old, on the other hand, she has 14 more years to be able to take over the account. And by then, I am hoping that the account has more than $1 million on that account. 401k, these are plans that are given to you by your employer. If you work for a company and you work full time, certain companies offer 401k at part timers. I don't know what other companies do that. You will have to do your own research on that. But if you work for a company that offers a 401k and you're not taking advantage of that, I highly, highly encourage you to do it, because every week that you get paid, you're throwing money down the drain. What do I mean by that? Let's just say that you work for Burger King, and Burger King offers a 401k plan and they'll match up to 5%. Let's say that you get paid $100 a week. I'm just going to keep it simple. You get paid $100 a week and you deposit 5%. That's $5 that you're depositing out of your check into your 401k. Now, Burger King will match up to 5% as well, and they will give you an additional five. So now you're not only depositing $5, you're depositing $10, because that additional 5% the Burger King matches will equals to $10. So again, we're going about $10 a day. I mean, per pay period is 52 weeks. That's $520. Simple as that, right? And this is assuming that you get paid every week, by the way. And again, this is just assuming that you're making only $100 a week, which is kind of unlikely. It's ideal for long-term investing because, again, it's better to have something than not have anything at your retirement fund. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to be working for Burger King for 30 years. And if you are, again, kudos to you. I'm not knocking you down, right? A job is a job. As long as you hold a job, you're able to contribute to any of these accounts. Now, with that being said, ask yourself this question: do I have all of these three accounts set up for my kids? Do I have a checking account? Do I have a high yield savings account? Do I have a Roth IRA, 401k slash retirement fund account for my children? These are the questions that you, as a parent, you need to do. You need to start doing these things, right? Because the last thing that you want is being my age and not having somebody to tell you, oh, by the way, this information is good for you. You should have done this. I wish somebody would have told me this 25 years ago. Matter of fact, 19 years ago when my daughter was born. So we need to start doing something different. We need to change our mentality of our children. We need to change our own mentality that these things are not for us, which it's for every one of us. Now, I promised you that I was going to show you some numbers as to how much you will end up with if you were to contribute just $10 a day for 30 years. $10 a day for 30 years, that will equal to $109,000. If you want to know how much the number it is, that's how much it is. Anywho, so if you invested in ACHD, which is an ETF, holds a basket of companies, it doesn't take a lot of hit during the market. If you go ahead and do the research on ACHD, when COVID hit, ACHD didn't actually take a hit much. Every company went down, but ACHD remained strong, remained paying the dividends quarter after quarter, which it was great to see. Now let's take a look at what ACHD is currently at. So the price of ACHD right now is $27.12. It pays a distribution, so a dividend of 3.86. It grows the dividends by 12.3%, 12.23%, so 12%. And it grows at a steady pace of 14.38 year over year, right? Over the 10-year period. Now, we're going to assume that you are going to deposit your 36.50 every single year. So every day, $10 a day, that's how much you're depositing. We're not going to pay any taxes because this is a Roth IRA, so it's zero taxes. And tax dividends, because you're not paying any taxes on any of the stuff, is zero tax dividend as well. 3.86 is your dividend per year, right? You divide that amongst whatever 4 quarters. It increases per year at 12.23%. It grows the price appreciation by 14.38%. And we're going to set this for 30 years, right? So let's take a look at what it does in 30 years. So in year number 5, you will be getting $690 a quarter, 93, sorry. And you will have $26,000 on that account. 5 years, 5 years. And 10 years, you will have annual dividend of $2,290, and you will have a total balance of $85,000 and 465. 15 years, you will have 217,164. 20 years, you will have 506,002 cents and 12 cents and $12, sorry. 25 years, you'll have 1,132,492. Now, you could say, oh, wow, I could retire in 25 years. Now, you could, but the problem is like your dividend payments for per year is only 23,866. Now, if you can live off of 23,866, have at it, right? In 30 years, this is where it gets good. In 30 years, you will have $2,478,111 in this account, and it will pay you a yearly dividend of $47,632.97 a year. Now, the average person out there does not make $47,000 a year. Now, you got to remember that the cost of living now is cheaper than what is going to be in 30 years. So just keep that in mind, because as you know, the cost of living keeps going up by 2 to 3% year over year. And there's nothing that we can do. But let's just say that you don't want to retire at the age of 48. Let's say you want to retire at 58. So we're going to do 40 years. And an additional 10 years, working as intended, as you normally would, this account will grow to $11,397,807. And they will pay you a yearly dividend of $181,772.90 for just adding an additional 10 years. That is insane. Now, I get it that these numbers look kind of inflated and kind of ridiculous. And I understand if you will be saying, "Oh, wait, that's just unheard of and this and that and whatnot," but that cannot happen, right? So if that cannot happen, let's take a look at Coca-Cola and Warren Buffett and see how much this guy has made. Warren Warren Buffett and Coca-Cola. Oh, we should ask him how much. Invest in Coca-Cola, Warren Buffett. Let's take a look at this. See, this is what is going to give me that information from him. Nope. Let's close this. So, how much Warren Buffett earns in dividends from Coca-Cola? Let's take a look, see if it has that information that we're looking for. Coca-Cola is held the world's largest average company, included in sales of North America, $447 billion. Okay, where is Warren Buffett's information? I don't care about that. Oh, why can't I find this thing? Anyway, you can go ahead and do your own research on how much Warren Buffett makes from Coca Cola itself. But I'm telling you, man, he's upwards of 100 and something million from just Coca Cola and just dividends. So what does that mean for him and his family? That his family and him will never go broke, because what these people do is that they'll buy like they'll put all of their money in a trust fund, and the trust fund, they'll be the beneficiary of the trust funds or whatever, and they'll add all their holdings into the trust fund as the trust fund owns these holdings, and they'll continue to get paid even if he passed away. The trust fund will never die, so therefore it will continue to be passed on to his family and stuff like that. So you should be doing that too. So anyone could do this. So if this is you, if you want to prepare for the future and stuff like that, this channel will help you understand and share with you guys which ones are the highest dividend payments every single week. I'll continue to make new content every single week, every single month. But if you guys have any topics that you guys may want to discuss, please write them in the comment section below. I'll be more than happy to do my research and prepare another video for you guys so we can all grow together. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So that's going to be it for today's video. I know it's kind of long and I'm sorry for renting and stuff like that, but we need to understand that this is something that is present now, and we all take part of this because we all on the same wheel and we need to get out of it. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So into this video, stay safe, be well.